Hello everyone. In the previous class, we have studied about displacement and double displacement reaction. Next type of reaction is oxidation and reduction reaction or redox reaction. Before redox reaction, let me first explain what is oxidation and reduction. There are different concepts which explains about oxidation and reduction. The classical concept says that oxidation means addition of oxygen and reduction is addition of hydrogen. Suppose we are adding oxygen to carbon and heat it, you get carbon dioxide. So as we are adding oxygen to carbon, this is example of addition reaction. In terms of removal, oxidation is removal of hydrogen and reduction is removal of oxygen. This is classical concept. There are many other concepts which are used to define oxidation and reduction, but in class 10th level we'll mainly focus on the first two concepts. Even addition of non-metal to any substance is example of oxidation, or addition of metal is reduction, or removal of metal is oxidation, or removal of non-metal is reduction. Nowadays, the latest concept which we can apply in all redox reaction is that oxidation is loss of electron and reduction is gain of electron. This you will study in higher classes. So we'll focus on the first two concept, that is classical concept. Now when we are studying oxidation and reduction, it's important to know what are oxidizing agent and reducing agent. Oxidizing agents are also called oxidant and reducing agents are called reductant. Oxidants are those substances which oxidizes others and itself undergoes reduction. And reducing agents are those substances which reduces others and itself undergoes oxidation. Let us apply this concept in example so that you can understand what is oxidation and reduction. Now children, remember, when we write a chemical equation we have reactants and products. Reactants means which is written on left hand side of a chemical equation, and products are those which are written on right hand side of a chemical reaction. When we identify any substance undergoing oxidation or reduction, it is always the reactant, not the product. For example, if H2S, that is hydrogen sulfide, reacts with chlorine gas, we obtain sulfur and hydrochloric acid. In this reaction, if you compare, when H2S changes to sulfur, what happens here? Removal of hydrogen takes place. So removal of hydrogen, as per the definition, it is oxidation. So the substance undergoing oxidation is H2S. Similarly, in chlorine to HCl we find addition of hydrogen takes place. So here it is reduction. Now Cl2 here acts as oxidizing agent because it itself undergoes reduction, and H2S acts as reducing agent. So I hope you have understood what is oxidation and reduction. Now let us move on to the activity given in NCERT book, that is activity 1.11. In figure 1.10 you can see that a tripod stand is taken in which a china dish is placed containing reddish brown copper powder. On heating this copper powder, we find that the reddish brown color slowly changes to black color. Now this black color is due to formation of cupric or copper oxide. Now this black powder is taken and allow hydrogen gas to pass through this. On passing hydrogen gas, we find that again the black color changes to reddish brown, which is due to formation of metallic copper. So the observation of this activity is that when brown color copper is heated, it changes to black color, which is due to formation of copper 2 oxide. Here copper 2 means the valency of copper is 2. Copper exists in two forms. One is cuprous, where the valency is 1, and cupric, where the valency is 2. So here it is cupric oxide or copper oxide. In the second reaction, that is when hydrogen gas is passed through it, we can see that copper oxide changes to copper where removal of oxygen takes place. So this is example of reduction. And hydrogen to H2O, addition of oxygen takes place. So H2 undergoes oxidation, means H2 is a reducing agent and copper oxide acts as oxidizing agent. More examples are given here, and later on I'll send assignments where you can practice extra questions based on this. Now let us see the effect of oxidation and reduction reactions in everyday life. We apply this concept in one is corrosion of metals and second is rancidity of food. Let us see what is corrosion. Corrosion means the eating up of metals which is due to presence of air, moisture or any other chemical substance on the surface of the metal. The two important conditions which are required for corrosion to take place is air and water. Examples of corrosion, will cover three topics here. One is rusting of iron, which every one of you are familiar. Second is copper vessel gets a greenish coating when exposed to air for a long time, and third is tarnishing of silver jewelry after a long period. So coming on to rusting of iron, you must have observed that when iron articles are kept exposed to air for a long time, a brown color substance is formed on the surface of iron metal, which is called rust. Rust is nothing, the chemical composition, the chemical name is, it is called hydrated ferric oxide. So how it happens? Iron when combines with oxygen and water present in the air, it forms a compound called Fe2O3.xH2O, which is hydrated ferric oxide and known as rust. There are different methods by which we can prevent rusting. One is by painting or by applying grease or oil on the surface of the material, that is iron article. By galvanization, galvanization means giving a coating of molten zinc on the surface of iron so that zinc covers iron, and as zinc is more reactive than iron, it will not allow iron to react. Or by giving a coating of tin or chromium, or by alloying it with other metals. Second example is copper objects. Why copper objects lose their shine after some time? Now here what happens, copper when comes in contact with moist air, it combines with CO2, O2 and H2O and forms a greenish coating called basic copper carbonate, that is CuCO3.CuOH whole twice. Third example is silver jewelry. After some time, that color changes to black shining appearance goes. This is due to formation of silver sulfide. When silver is exposed to air, it forms a black coating. So these are few examples of corrosion. Next, we'll see what is rancidity. When food items containing fats and oils are kept for a long time, they get oxidized and their smell and taste changes, and this process is called rancidity. There are different methods by which we can prevent rancidity, that is, we have to prevent the process of oxidation. Number one is by adding antioxidants. Antioxidants means substances which prevent oxidation and hence subsequent spoilage of food. Second is by packing fat and oil containing foods in a nitrogen gas. Now, when food items in a packet are covered with nitrogen gas, we find that there is no supply of oxygen to cause oxidation and hence prevents rancidity. Mostly this is used in chips packets. You have observed that if chips packets are open for a quite longer period, its taste gets changed. Next is refrigeration of foodstuffs. Why we keep the food items in fridge if left out food? Because inside the food the temperature is low, which again slows down oxidation process. Fourth method is by vacuum packing. In vacuum packing, we find again no air or oxygen is available for oxidation to occur, thereby preventing rancidity. And the last one is by storing food in airtight containers, which helps to slow down the process of oxidation as there is little exposure of air, that is oxygen supply is less, and hence oxidation does not take place readily. I hope you have understood today's class. Have a good day.